The 2023 SWAC Baseball Tournament at Russ Chandler Stadium. This is day 3. We started with 8, and we are down to 5. Earlier today, Prairie View was eliminated. Yesterday, Jackson State and Texas Southern were eliminated, and we have an elimination game here. Bethune-Cookman and your Jaguars of Southern University. Southern and Bethune-Cookman coming up here as they meet for the second time in this tournament. Welcome back to Atlanta. Charles Edmond, the Hall of Famer Roger Cador. We'll hear from our sideline reporter Charles Bishop coming up. And Coach Cador, here we go with game number 2. And familiar meeting here between these two teams. A game in which the Jaguars beat this Bethune-Cookman team 4-2. They lost to Grambling 7-3. And of course, for Bethune-Cookman, they rallied to beat Jackson State 12-11, and they lost to Southern 4-2. What do you expect here in this game? We had a 1-0 game earlier. Do you expect low scoring, mid scoring, or high scoring here in game 2?
I wish I could say, but you know, neither one of these teams should come in flat. Even though Southern did have the late game last night. So, but I'm thinking they're coming out fired up. They have tradition to live up to. And tradition says they'll come back and play well. And I don't know much about Bethune-Cookman history with the new coach. I know when Melendez was there, they had a great tradition, you know.
And of course, for Bethune-Cookman, Jonathan Hernandez and Chris Crenshaw, the head coach of Southern University. As you are watching for the Wildcats, Marcos Gamboa, 1-1 during the year with a 4.38 earned run average. As you look at Southern's starting lineup, you've seen the Jaguars, Roger Cador. What about this lineup that can get the Jaguars going?
Well, a lineup is only good if the kids produce. You know, you can stick names in there, but they have to produce. And if they do what they're capable of doing, they can score some runs. And they've done that on occasions this year.
Jalen Armstrong takes a call, third strike, 1 out from Gamboa. Jalen Armstrong hit .324 during the regular season, 5 home runs and 39 runs batted in. It'll bring up the second baseman, Jaleel Hendricks, with .299 during the season. Charles Bishop, I talked with Chris Crenshaw before the game and just opportunities out there. He talked about the SWAC tournament last year and talked about the loss yesterday. Opportunities, got to cash in on them.
You got to cash in on those opportunities. And, you know, you take a look at the history of the Southern baseball program. How many times have we watched them come from the loser's bracket to take the SWAC tournament? So you talk about tradition, you talk about championship DNA.
Here's a fly ball in deep right center field. This ball's well hit all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Hendricks. He's got a stand-up double with 1 out.
The ball got in that jet stream. Urban jet stream.
It caught the urban jet stream. Yes, it did.
Ground rule double at that. O'Neal Burgos at the plate, 301 during the season with 13 home runs. So the Jaguars with an opportunity to strike first here. The loser of this game is eliminated. The winner of this game will play Grambling tonight. Already we've got an Eastern Division bracket final with Bama State and FAMU as they eliminated Prairie View 1-0 earlier. Who will face Grambling later? We'll find out as the Jaguars an opportunity here in the top of the first.
So you're correct. The top bracket has already have a guarantee that an Eastern Division team will be in the final.
Yes, sir. FAMU, Bama State will meet yet again. That game will be coming up next. A swing and a miss from Burgo. If FAMU wins that game, we'll have baseball here tomorrow. Those two teams will meet again. If Bama State wins, they're on to the championship game. So tomorrow we could have no baseball. We could have 1 game. We could have 2 games tomorrow. It'll be determined here by the end of this night.
Bama State has got to feel pretty good about that situation. you know.
Count is 1-2 to Burgos with the runner at second. Check swing, pitches outside. They check it first. And the first base umpire, Kevin Bradley, says he did not go around. Brandon Folks behind the plate, Kevin Bradley at first. Lee Ishman, the second base umpire, and Patrick Graham at third. Count is 2-2, one out runner at second, just underway. No count. Off-speed pitches to Burgos, Roger Cador.
Yeah, you know, they respect the fact that he's got good power. He's hit a few home runs. And what he's got to try and do is hit the ball out in front. He's been late on a lot of pitches this year.
Here's the 3-2. Fly ball foul off to the right side. Roger Cador, I talked to Chris Crenshaw before the game. I said, what did you say to your team after the loss yesterday? He said, not much. He said, not much to be said. He said, if you're not ready right now, you're not ready.
He said it all. You know, really, that's the approach I've always taken.
3-2 pitch coming up. Lazy fly ball in the right.
You got to tag.
Carrying, his runner could tag. Deep right, caught in right. And Hendricks to third. Deep fly ball off the bat of Burgos. Caught in right by Hall. Hendricks to third.
I tell you what, guys, that wind is really fresh blowing out to right field.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Maybe that's a Memorial Day jet stream.
But it's incredible. The trees in right field are not moving, but they're moving in the foul territory. That urban jet stream is really something.
Pitch strike call to Gustavo Nava Sanchez, 269 during the season with 3 home runs. A chance here, Roger Cador, for the Jaguars. Runner at third, 2 out.
Yeah, the wind is really picking up right now. Oh.
And he pulled this one foul. We've seen some home runs hit in this tournament. 334 down the right field line, 329 down the left field line, 382 to left center, 350 to right center, 390 to dead center field. There's fastball high. What are you seeing from this pitcher here, Roger Cador and Marcos Gamboa? 1-1 with a 438 earned run average. He started 4 games during the year.
Well, he's a pitcher that appears that he can be hit if they just swing at strikes.
Another one hooked foul. Well, Charles Bishop, early in this game, you can kind of feel it. The Jaguars are getting their cuts.
They're definitely taking some healthy cuts up there. They're picking up the ball pretty well. And I tell you what, when you take a look, it'll be very interesting to see how the ball is carrying, especially we've talked about this urban jet stream, and these coaches are aware of it.
Here's a base hit in the right center field off the bat of Sanchez. Hendricks scores. Jaguars with an early lead.
That's a good sign.
Nothing, Southern with the lead. It'll bring up the DH, Kyle Radcliffe. 284 during the regular season with a couple of home runs. A run on 2 hits. 1 out double by Hendricks. Fly ball moved him to third. Single by Nava Sanchez. Jaguars with a 1-0 lead on 2 hits. A check swing foul.
I guess it sort of answered the question earlier whether there was going to be any late-night hangover for the Southern Jaguars.
No, I think they've got some fire in their eyes right now. And as I mentioned, they have to live up to tradition, which means that Southern always go deep into the tournament.
A swing and a miss by Radcliffe. That brings up something, Coach, when you talked about tradition. Of course, you won 14 championships as the head coach, baseball coach at Southern University. Is that just automatic pressure, and what could you say or do to ease the pressure a bit, or is that just comes with the territory? Check swing at third, did not go around.
Well, the pressure is all eased away when you make the decision to come to Southern and have to live through the season. that's when you build your confidence that you belong. Once you understand you belong, then the rest become easy.
1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. I mean, we know these traditionally good sports teams all over the country. You know what you're signing up for.
That's right.
Were there kind of like history lessons from fans or from you or your assistants in just talking about the tradition? There's a swing and a miss here, and the side is retired. We'll get into that here in the bottom of the first inning. Jaguars strike first, a run on 2 hits, an RBI single by Gustavo Nava Sanchez. Jaguars with a 1-0 lead. Bottom one coming up here from Atlanta on the SWAC Digital Network.
We are a limitless future, opening new doors, new ways, new everything. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. Chevrolet, honored to support the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket. Like one of our favorite customers, Michelle.
I started my own app company, and with Cricket, I'm able to answer calls from my engineers and investors and know my signal's going to be great. If I had to describe Cricket in 2 words, they would be reliable and affordable.
5G Boss Mode activate. Smile, you're on Cricket.
We go to the bottom of the first inning. Bethune-Cookman coming to bat. As you see the Wildcats, and you see their lineup. They rallied late to beat Jackson State yesterday. They were up 8-3. Jackson comes back. Jackson had the lead late, and Bethune-Cookman rallied late to win that game. And what do you see in this Bethune-Cookman lineup here, Roger Cador, as you look at the starting lineup for this team from Daytona Beach?
Well, I don't know that much about them other than what I've seen here. And so, but I like what their lineup did yesterday. So, you know, it's a matter of we'll see what'll happen today. If Jalen Long has got his own where he can keep him off balance, we shall see.
Jalen Long, 4-3 during the year. No starts during the year. 51 1/3 innings pitched. First pitch, this is outside to Luis Torrero. Hit .339 during the year with 23 runs batted in. This pitch is inside. Of course, the Wildcats' 5th-year head coach, Jonathan Fernandez. Charles Bishop talked with him before the game. He said it's the 3 C's: calm, cool, and collected. That's what his team is all about, and it appeared to be that way yesterday. They rallied late and very calm, cool, and collected about it.
They really take on the personality of their head coach when as we get that fly ball there.
Fly ball to short, but called off, and the left fielder coming in and making the catch. He bailed out on it, but the left fielder, J.J. Rollon, hauls it in. Let's take a look at that, Roger Cador.
Almost didn't make that play.
Was this the right
opportunity? It's the right call.
Okay.
It is the right play. Anytime you're coming in, you want to make the call. It's just that he.
Yeah, Charles, I was going to say they really take on the personality of their coach in terms of when he talks about adversity. He says, we're just playing a ball game. There is no adversity out here.
Pitch, strike call. And we talked about the history. This team went 2 years without playing baseball. Opt out 1 year, COVID a year. Sent a lot of their players to JUCO when they did not play. Coach Fernandez and some of the employees were furloughed, had to do something else, had to put the team back together, and here they are. Fastball just missed.
And the thing that I've noticed about this Bethune-Cookman team, they are a resilient bunch. It didn't matter what highs or lows from yesterday, especially with Jackson State, they fought back.
They just hung in there. This pitch just missed off the outer half. This pitcher working quickly, Roger Cador.
Yeah, Jalen Long is the son of former big leaguer Terrence Long. Was a #1 draft choice with the New York Mets. Outfield, he played with Oakland and a couple other teams. I'm sure you remember that name, Charles.
I recall that name.
Yeah.
Full count, 3-2. This popped up mile high, straight up the silo on the infield. It's going to be caught in short by Justin Wiley. 2 away. 2 out. It'll bring up Leandro Perez. .353 the average. Highland Hall at the plate. There's the pitch, swing and a miss. Highland Hall, .365 during the year with 5 home runs. Pitch to Hall, fly ball right side. And it's going to be caught in right, and the side is retired as Evans hauls it in. 3-5 ball outs to right, to short, to left. We played 1. Jaguars with a 1-0 lead. Jonathan Evans will lead it off. Hunter Tabb, J.J. Roll-On, 6, 7, and 8 coming up after this on the SWAC Digital Network.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Welcome back. As you see the construction, Atlanta, bustling metropolis, expanding, doing well.
Doing well, quite well.
Of course, it's the home of the MEAC SWAC Football Challenge, home of the Celebration Bowl.
You got it all, Charles. You know it.
And home of the 2023 SWAC Baseball Tournament. Looking forward to those football matchups coming up. And Jaguars, top of the second coming up. Jonathan Evans, the right fielder, stands in for the Jaguars. Evans, .246 during the year with 7 runs batted in. Pitch misses outside. One nothing, the Jaguars with the lead. A 1-out double by Hendricks. A single by Nava Sanchez scored him. A fly ball left side. Foul territory. Is there a play? It's caught at third. Man, that is such a tough play. A mile high in the air, and Torrero hauls it in.
It's a piece of cake. He made it look easy.
And Torrero did a tremendous job calling off the catcher on that one, Coach.
Yeah, and that's what he should do, because he's got the catcher's got the mid. He want to make sure everything works out, so he did the right thing.
That situation too, Roger Cador, the better angle. I mean, clearly you see the replay. Third baseman at the better angle, maybe even a longer and better look at that.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary the angle, other than it was the correct play, because of this is what we teach him to do. Anybody who can catch the ball other than the catcher, call the catcher off. Because the catcher mid is so small where the ball can get in there, you know?
Yeah, that's a lesson learned. So
Yeah.
you would assume with the catcher's mitt, catcher would get most of those, but actually you don't want the catcher.
No, don't want if someone else in first baseman, third baseman. The only person you don't want the pitcher to do it.
And you see that quite often. Here's a fly ball right side, shallow right, and it's caught at second. Ranging out.
Tab has really struggled
seen-
this year. I mean, he hadn't been able to fix his hitting problem. Even though Crenshaw kept him in the lineup, he just hadn't been able to do it.
Hunter Tab 234 during the season. J.J. Rolon stands in 226 during the year with a home run, 12 runs batted in. And he jumps on the first offering.
But he had a good swing. See, there's a difference. You know, his swing was good.
Southern with a 1-0 lead. And Rolon a shot in the right center, but it's going to be caught in right. The side is retired. Well, quick start to this one as Highland Hall hauls it in. And a 1-2-3 inning as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Jaguars with a 1-0 lead with Boris Pena, Robert Moya, and Manny Soufrain coming up after this on the Southwestern Athletic Conference Digital Network.
We are a limitless future, opening new doors, new ways, new everything. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. Chevrolet, honored to support the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Malik and Lisa are ready to buy the home of their dreams.
That's serious money, Gigi.
It's okay. I feel you. And Rocket can help with that. When you buy with Rocket Homes and finance with Rocket Mortgage, you can get up to $10,000 cash toward closing with Rocket Mortgage. It's time to start your own legacy. You got this, and Rocket's got you. Visit onlywithrocket.com to get started today.
Rocket Mortgage, one of the sponsors of the Southwestern Athletic Conference here in Atlanta, Georgia. Glad you can join us. A lot of energy, a lot of stuff on social media, just the energy yesterday. Roger Cador, you said yesterday the energy was about as good and for day 3 of the SWAC tournament as you've seen it.
It was, I've never seen it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been here. I think I've had more experience than anybody. Good play.
Good running catch in center field by Jalen Armstrong.
When you start putting 40-some years of experience in, I mean, it was as good as it get. And this is good. And we captured it on TV, which was even better, you know.
Robert Moya, the DH at the plate. The junior. Pitch inside, ball 1. Moya hit .308 during the season with 8 home runs. Well, Roger Cador, this pitcher for the Jaguars, Jalen Long, has issued 4 fly ball outs in his first 4 at-bats. What does that say early on?
Not a lot. That means he's probably getting the ball up, or they're swinging up, one or the other.
Here's the 2-0.
See, that pitch was up, so Crenshaw is going to try and hopefully get 5 innings out of him because he's not going to take too many chances.
Here's the 2-1. Strike called. Charles Bishop, in talking with both head coaches, Chris Crenshaw told me he's got 8 arms left for today. In talking with Jonathan Hernandez, the coach of Bethune-Cookman, he told me he's got 7 arms available. So a lot of arms available to stay alive.
A lot of arms available, and I tell you what, so far both of these starting pitchers, they look really, really good out there on the mound. They are getting the ball and firing it right back in there.
Here's the 3-2, a ground ball fair down the third baseline. Moya, the DH, extra bases maybe. But Karam's off to the left, and he's got a hustling stand-up double. First base runner for the Wildcats. That ball caromed off the rail down there and left.
Let's watch Bogart on the turn at first base. if we could capture it. Ooh, close play.
Definitely fair down the line. Watch this how it's crammed off the rail there. And the left fielder for the Jaguars, Roland, he was committed close to the rail, then it caromed away from him, and he had to track it down. So the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position. Manny Soufrain stands in. Pitching outside, ball one. Soufrain, 278 during the season. 3 home runs and 27 runs batted in.
I've seen so many things in my many years of playing high school, college, and professional baseball that I'm instinctively looking for things. Now, we know when the ball hit down the line, he at least got 2 pitches. The first baseman job is to make sure that that runner touches the bag. Well, Bogart was looking at second. He never even looked to see if the kid touched the bag. He has only one responsibility. And you know how many times during the year, over the years, we've been able to get a call out because my first baseman watched that guy, but told the umpire, hey, we're going to watch him, make sure he touched the bag. You see. And you have to remind people, just like we have to remind my player have to remind the umpire.
Yeah.
Because they'll look at the ball. They ain't got no business. We're going to make sure he touched that bag.
So if it's hit on the left side, down the left field line, the first baseman's only job is to make sure he did step on the bag.
Right,
Swing
and then once he does that,
out.
he backs up the throw if it's coming to second. He gets about where he is now to make sure the ball doesn't go beyond.
Well, to your point, Coach, and I wanted to ask about the pitch clock that we saw last game. Is that something that the coach kind of makes the umpire aware of just in case, hey, we're looking at it as well?
Well, he shouldn't because he can't see it. But the third base, the time clock is with the third base umpire. But I think that's a good idea. But to me, that's one thing you shouldn't have to do because we can't see it. You got me?
Well, it is something that, talking with other coaches and other programs in the league, something that's being definitely in the works.
Yeah, they're going to put
a lot of the Power 5 schools, you do have the pitch clock.
Yeah.
Check swing could not hold up. Escobar at the plate. Urban Escobar, 306 during the regular season with 3 home runs and 27 runs batted in. A chance for the Wildcats. So 1 out double by Moya. He's still there with 2 out. Pitch is low.
Long transfer in from Sanford out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Sanford. Good FCS football program.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the 2-1. Count is even 2-2. So with that violation that we had in the first game, and that's the first that we've seen that we know of.
Right.
Is that, in terms of timing, is there a pitch clock in a pitcher's head knowing that? Is that something that we even, as a pitcher, should even be talked about?
There should be one in his head because if he can't see it.
Here's the 2-2, a high chopper, deep short on 2 hops. The strong throw across is there. Side is retired. Justin Wiley throws out Escobar, 1 out double, runner stranded. Both teams have stranded 1. We played 2, game 2, day 3. 1-0 Jaguars. 9-1-2 coming up in the lineup. Justin Wiley, then top of the lineup, Jalen Armstrong and Jalee Hendricks coming up here on the SWAC Digital Network. Very pleasant conditions here in Atlanta. No rain. Looks like the weather will hold up throughout the weekend. 73 degrees here in the ATL as we go to the top of the third inning. Justin Wiley will lead it off. 9-1-2. The senior, 181 during the year, 94 at bats.
Another great saying that happens in the Negro League, the sun was always shining somewhere. Those guys had a positive attitude. The rain never stopped. Sun was always shining somewhere.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of positive attitudes, Charles Bishop, all the coaches we've talked to, especially the ones on the loser side, Chris Crenshaw today, Jonathan Hernandez, Omar Johnson, Mike Robb, positive attitudes, because we know in the losers bracket we've seen teams come out of that thing. So as long as you're still playing, you got a shot, and that's the case with both of these teams.
As long as you're still playing, you got a shot. You said it right. And one of the things you just noticed about just the nuances today, I mean, with Bethune-Cookman and Southern, the entire dugout, they're running out to go pick up the pitcher when they come off the mound. So a lot of pepper in the dugout, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of pep. I've been saying it, Coach, and doing a bunch of games. Baseball's a grind. You start out the season in coats and skull caps and you end in shorts. It's a long season, over 50 games. The ebbs and flows, the injuries, and both of these teams have had that. This starting pitcher today had a shoulder issue. He was out for a good month. Just started to get back in the last few weeks to get himself back right. So baseball's a lot of games, in pro football, 16 games, college football, 11 or 12. But in baseball, it's over 50 games. It's a lot. Here's a ground ball up the middle. It's a base hit. Jalen Armstrong. A single with one out. And that is the third hit for the Jaguars. Hendricks for the double. Nava Sanchez with an RBI single. And now Armstrong with a single. The Jaguars. Let's see if they do some running here. You expect that, Roger Cador, Jalen Armstrong, 38 stolen bases during the year. 1 on, 1 out with Hendricks coming up, who doubled.
And they want to respect Escobar throwing on him, so we've got to, that would be one concern. But they have to be aggressive. At this point, you want to create opportunities with moving people around on the infield. So hit and run opportunities does that for you.
They're not going here, and this is taking the other way, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Armstrong around second, Motors in the third, and the throw is late and taking extra bases. Hendricks second and third for the Jaguars.
Now that's really good base running on both runners' part.
Let's take a look at it.
We might be able to see it right here. Good piece of hitting. See, Armstrong knew that he was going away from the ball, and he made it, and then he made a high throw, didn't hit his cutoff man. Hendricks was able to go to second. So now Southern is really in business with the meat of their order.
I would say the heart of the order. Here's the pitch.
That's
a little flare up the middle.
There you go.
It's my store run, and it does.
Good job, but the base runners did a good job. They recognized that ball wasn't going to be caught, and they were able to move up.
Look at the strength here in fighting this off by Burgos. He was jammed. That would have shattered a bat if it was a wooden bat.
Yeah. Yeah, but you want Bogart taking a better swing than that. He shouldn't be jammed on the first pitch.
Armstrong scores. And Hendricks takes third, and the Jaguars lead 2-0. 2 out, runner at third. Pitch to Nava Sanchez, who's singled to drive home Hendricks in the first.
Coach, let me go back. You got a runner on third. On that play with the Highland Hall out in right field, with the ball going away from it, do you want to get his balance and hit the cutoff man?
He should always hit the cutoff man, because where he caught the ball to try and get the ball to third, the only way you had a chance was with the cutoff relay. So once he does that, that was a pretty good read by Hendricks to get to second base.
There's a ground ball to first, and the side is retired. An easy play for Soufrain, but the Jaguars get a run. 2 hits, no errors, and the Jaguars strand their second runner. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Colton Alicine, Jeremy Garcia, and Luis Tuero, 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Wildcats here in Atlanta. 2-0 Jaguars on the SWAC Digital Network. Put him on Dance Fever, Roger Cador.
That's Miles Portier.
Give him a contract.
For dancing?
Yeah.
We may not want to do that.
Bethune-Cookman coming up here in the 3rd inning.
Can we elaborate a little on Cookman and FAMU coming in, leaving MESC, coming to the SWAC?
Of course. We talked about that a little bit the last couple of days. We touched on it a little.
You know, well, Cookman, when Melendez was there, they were king of the hill. And even they did enjoy some success in the MEAC once he left. But it's a much more difficult road to get to the mountaintop in the SWAC. Because you got to go through Alabama State, Jackson State, you have Southern, you have Grambling, and on a good year, Texas Southern could be in the mix. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to reinvent themselves so they could be in the conversation to be one in the top team. They are, but you know, how do they get? They get where they play for the championship.
Well, they were the number 2 seed in the East. Here's a base hit in the right field off the bat of Garcia. 1-out base runner for the Wildcats.
Coach, that's actually something Coach Hernandez was talking about yesterday in terms of the parity in the league. But he was saying in the future, any given year, Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, Alabama State, they could flip-flop themselves in terms of 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now, you know, right now, Alabama State is king of the hill because he knows, and he's got a head start on him, so to speak. And what do I mean by that? He's got the Puerto Rico is not a country. It's a
fly ball in the right field. It's going to be caught in right by Highland, by the Jaguars. Evans. I'll say this, Coach Cador, you know, for a program, and we've talked about it, they were 2 years without playing and just getting back into it. This is Coach Hernandez's 5th season, 2 years without playing a game, number 2 seed in the East. Very tough division. Jackson's always up there. Bama State, we've talked about them. FAMU's up there. And I think you got 2 up-and-coming programs in Mississippi Valley and Alabama A&M. I think that for Bethune-Cookman to finish where they are, I think it says a lot. And I think the Eastern Division.
It says a lot.
The Eastern Division, the Western Division is tough. I mean, you had Prairie View at first place. Grambling got hot late. Southern was kind of trying to figure it out most of the year. Texas Southern could get hot. They got hot at one point in time. So I think the SWAC baseball, and even the two teams that did make it, UAPB, a young head coach in Carlos James, Alcorn Braves played well down the stretch. Second-year head coach Reggie Williams there, who played at Southern University. I think SWAC baseball is going to get better. It's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher to make the tournament. And I think in any given year, Charles Bishop, you might see some different teams in this thing when we roll on.
I definitely think that's going to be the case, because even when you take a look at the teams that didn't make it, they were able to swipe a game or two from some of these top teams. So parity is definitely the word of the day in this SWAC baseball conference.
Well, I see it coming because of the young coaches ADs are hiring, and they're beginning to fund, to some level, fund the program. And when they're able to get where they can get pitching coaches, Charles, that's the biggest issue. Coaches want to be able to hire a qualified pitching coach. How do you do that? You have to, pay them, am I correct? So once they're able to pay them, then they can go out and hire a quality pitching coach. Then you could probably get someone else to be a part-time coach or something for the other positions. So, but pitching coach, you need a full-time pitching coach.
Eric Chun at the plate. He fly to center his last time up.
But Bethune-Cookman does have a rich tradition in the MEAC. Richer than FAMU. They won more championship. Now, obviously, FAMU been around a little longer. Oh, there's the runner
going, of course, with 2 out. And it's 2 on here. Single and a walk. Roger Cador and Highland Hall steps to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. And you talk about, Bethune-Cookman, their athletic director, former NBA great Reggie Theus is the AD at Bethune-Cookman, and at Southern University, Roman Banks, former Southern basketball coach, is the AD. I saw him just a few moments ago here in Atlanta. So a chance for the Wildcats here to get a run with 2 on. This pitch strike called. We'll talk about this pitcher long, coach, trying to work through this 2 on, 2 out jam.
Well, this is the thing. You got 2 outs. Can you got a single in the walk? Can you put the fire out?
The 0-1. Oh, off the outer half, just missed.
That's a good pitch.
That is 1-1.
Not that it was a strike, but it was a good pitch. All good pitches on strike, they're designed to maybe entice the hitter to go off the plate a little.
The pickoff move. I want to ask you about the pickoff move to second base. I've heard that when a pitcher is trying to pick somebody off at second, there's a gap between the runner and second base, and you throw in that hole, and you hope that the second baseman gets right there and makes the tag in stride. Is that kind of the technique in picking off a runner at second?
Well, that probably goes more with the shortstop who's sneaking in behind the runner.
Yeah.
You throw through that gap.
Yeah, the shortstop.
Yeah. Rather than the second baseman, because then you're meaning he's got to come across the bag. You really don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you look at it, they call it, there's a word they call it. I've been around way too long. Oh, my goodness, I'm sorry.
But you do find that gap from short.
The gap is a good term for it, but they use another word for it.
2-2 the count, 2 out, 2 on. 2's on the board here. Jaguars with a 2-0 lead. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it.
Maybe one of my former players are listening, and they'll text me, tell me what the word I'm looking for.
But those pickoff moves, I tell you what, it's so frustrating.
Daylight.
find the daylight.
That's what I'm looking for.
You find the daylight.
Hey, man, listen, I never really put any play on pick for pickoff, so that was never going to be no daylight with me.
Here's the 2-2. Chopper to short. Handing over. Close play. Good hustle from Chun. And the Jaguar shortstop, Wiley, race to the bag. Side is retired. So 2 stranded for the Wildcats. They've left 3. We are a third of the way through. Centuria Black will bring you home with Bama State FAMU. Grambling will take on the winner of this game tonight at 6. Couple of good games. This one a good one. 2-0 Jaguars. We'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be Ratcliffe, Evans, and Hunter Tabb. 5, 6, and 7 coming up on the SWAC Digital Network.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are a limitless future, opening new doors, new ways, new everything. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. Chevrolet, honored to support the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Back here in Atlanta, glad you can join us. First year of the SWAC baseball tournament here in the ATL. There's been a lot of conversation about tournament here. That's ball inside, ball 1 to Kyle Ratcliffe. Of course, the tournament's been in a lot of different locales. Alexandria, Louisiana being one, Natchez, Mississippi, couple of stints in Jackson, Shreveport couple of times, Fort Worth, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Birmingham, and here we are in Atlanta. Count is 2-0, and now 3-0 from Marcos Gamboa. You know the count? Strike called, 3-1. Not a bad trip. I was talking with assistant FAMU coach Brett Richardson. To swing and a miss, about a 4.5 hour, 5 hour ride from Atlanta to Tallahassee. A little bit more than that from Daytona, but not bad. A little further away for Texas Southern and Prairie View, obviously, but good fan support for all the schools. A leadoff walk, Roger Cador, Ratcliffe, and the Jaguars have the leadoff man on, and that is the first time the leadoff has been on for the Jaguars.
Well, 63% of the time, the leadoff walk leads still run. So we're keeping that status. We've been true to form in this league. In this tournament.
Let's see if Chris Crenshaw some running here or sacrifice. Obviously, want to keep him at bay.
Not Ratcliffe is from Chicago. He should be able to run. Because in Chicago, you got to be able to move.
Let's see if some speed here. Throw the first runners back.
Now, being fast doesn't equate to being a good base runner because instincts are involved. You got to instinctively know some things.
10 stolen bases for Ratcliffe during the year. Not going here. A square to bunt here and a strike here.
Coach, that Chicago area sends a lot of players to the SWAC, don't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And, Atlanta does a good job also. when I was coaching Detroit, Chicago did. That's where Southern, Grambling, Jackson State.
There's a good run here.
Bunt.
Catcher bobbles, fields, and throws. Well, the catcher Escobar, a slight bobble, stayed with it. And the sack is good. Moving Ratcliffe to second. Let's take a look at that.
This is a classic example, let you know you can't outrun the ball unless you're Cool Papa Bell.
There's Escobar. Yeah, bobbled it just for a moment.
Look at still gather. Can't outrun the ball.
By a step.
Yep.
Hunter Tabb stands in, the third baseman. A chance for the Jaguars to add to their lead. Pitch to Tabb. Check, swing, strike, call. And Tabb didn't like the call. Well played umpire Brandon Folks. Won the count. Jaguars with 4 hits, about hit. Wildcats 4-2. Thune is
they coming in.
Fouled it straight back. Tabb with 29 runs batted in during the season. Well, Charles Bishop, all the momentum is with Southern University right now.
No doubt about it. All the momentum's with Southern. They got a couple of runners on. We'll see what happens here with Hunter Tabb. Coach, you mentioned he struggled a little bit at the plate this year, but this is a huge opportunity for him.
And he's an upperclassman, so you're hoping that this is a chance that he'll take care of business.
Here's the 1-2. This is outside, 2-2.
You know, the great Hall of Famer Willie Pop Stargell struggled mighty in the 79, or was it 81 World Series? It might have been 81, and he had been struggling bad. And he was, let's see what happens here.
There's the 2-2 time called.
That's third base umpire. But
pitch clock violation.
Yeah, sure is. I was looking at the third base umpire. So a pitch clock violation. So that's a ball. Count is full, 3-2. The 3-2. Tabb, a little dribbler to third.
Can I run that ball? He did.
And he did. Infield single for Tabb. First and third.
Sometimes that's the kind of hit that gets you out of a slump. You know what I'm saying? Third baseman did a good job.
That's baseball. As Torero did everything he could.
But a struggling hitter like Tabb needed that.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't drive the runner and he got a hit and moved him up. I want to finish the story about Willie Pop Stargell. And he's sitting by his locker, and his young son said, "Dad, what's wrong?" And he was struggling. Baltimore had been beating him. He said, "Son, there comes a time in a man's life when a man has got to be a man." I was thinking about Tabb here. There comes a time in a man's life when you really have to be a man. Yeah. So those are the kind of things you got to find a way to tell them about what someone else was struggling. You see, you can use that kind of stuff.
And that particular play, he just got enough of it, beat it out.
Right.
And here's a squeeze. Yeah. Run is in.
He's safe.
And he's out there. The pitcher fields, but a run is in. Roll on with the drag bunt. Scoring Ratcliffe, and the Jaguars get another run.
And that was not a squeeze. It was
a sacrifice.
He was butting for a hit or more of the safety.
Oh, that was close.
Man, look where the first baseman is. He caused that to be. Look where he is. He's behind. Look, boy, I tell you, game of inches. Look where the first baseman is behind the bag. He caused that to be a close play.
There's a wild pitch and the runner to third. So the Jaguars get another run. It's 3-0 on 4 hits. Well, the Jaguars, Roger Cade, are doing a lot of things right so far.
That's right. And I'm sorry if I point out so many little things that people maybe don't care about, like Charles. Charles don't care about what I care about, but I'm teaching the game. And that I'm showing where the first baseman is behind the bag rather than in front. Charles want to runs.
Well, yeah, I'm an offensive guy. There's no question about it. When it comes to football, I want to see 10 touchdowns. When it comes to basketball, Charles Bishop, I want to see 100 points.
There you go, Charles.
When it comes to baseball, I want to see 10. Well, not necessarily 10-9 every game. I'll take the 1-0 that we had the last game.
You better.
Here's a ground ball foul.
Yeah, give me the 1-0 game. I love the defensive struggles.
Yeah,
I love it too.
I love the chess matches when it's 1-0.
Yeah.
Look at the third base coach here for the Jaguars, backing up on it, back pedals.
Yeah. The fans or the coaches, the players gave him a big ovation.
Well, you don't see that too often.
No, but this is fun for the kids, man.
There's a swing and a miss pitch he couldn't catch up with.
Over swinging, Wiley.
How many of those foul balls, Coach Cador, were you able to snag all the years you were at third base?
Not many. As I got down to, I didn't catch any the last 10 years or so. Maybe 1 or 2 in the beginning. There was no need for me to show anything. Safety was a priority.
That's called an executive decision, Coach.
That's right.
Even the slow dribblers that came to you?
I would put my foot on them if I could. That's why I stopped them. Oh, my goodness.
Count is 2-2.
I remember when I just got married, and guys used to come and ask about playing basketball, and my wife used to say, why would you take a chance and go play basketball, hurt yourself, and you can't go to work? You know, and it made sense.
That was an executive decision.
Yeah, it was. It made sense because she reasoned with me.
Yeah.
Why would you do it? And it made sense. So
2-2, 2 out. 3-0 Jaguars. Here's the pitch.
Oh,
Popped up, mile high, right side on the infield, and it's going to be caught at second, and the side is retired as Lawson hauls it in. The Jaguars get another run. They've scored in 3 of the 4 innings, and they have a 3-0 lead. The Jaguars strand their third runner. We'll take a break right here. Wildcats have been down before. Remember, they were down 8-3, and they rallied and won it against Jackson State yesterday. Southern with a 3-0 lead. Pena, Moya, and Sue Frame coming up after this on the SWAC Digital Network. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Jaguars with a 3-0 lead. Underway in the 4th. I'm Charles Edmond. Glad you can join us. I'm on social media. I'm on Twitter, Tall Man Radio. On Facebook, Charles Edmond. Got a question, a thought, a comment about what you've seen so far? Let us know. Here's a fly ball to right, and it's caught in right. 2 pitches, 1 out. We're underway in the bottom of the 4th inning as Evans hauls it in. Gonna bring up Robert Moya.
Can I say something? I want to say how much I've enjoyed working with you, Charles, and Centura, and Charles Bishop. Having the first time to work with Charles Bishop, he's enlightened us because he knows so much about what he's doing, and it makes it easy for all of us. So I've enjoyed the moment that I've had with you all.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach, as always, and doing something new with having Charles Bishop down on the field, just a different vantage point, interviews from the dugouts, post-game. I think that just adds to it. Charles Bishop adds to the delight of the tournament. Get the players and coaches' perspectives.
No doubt about it. I've definitely enjoyed being down here, and then just getting nuggets from you guys and learning more about this profession. It has been tremendous. Thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you, SWAC, for the opportunity.
And I've also learned a little about the jet stream. What was that?
Definitely the urban jet stream.
I've learned about the urban jet stream. Here's a foul off to the right side.
You see, he wanted to say he learned about that, but he doesn't want me to learn about the whale. He doesn't want me to know about that.
That's a whole nother subject for another day.
Well, what my name going on?
But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and like I said, give us your thoughts. And we've heard from Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. Of course, he talked about it. The tournament coming here to Atlanta. Obviously, the city of Atlanta reached out to the conference, and Coach Cato, we're going to talk about it the other day. But obviously, with all the action, you have been over the years brought in to look at logistics in different locales for this tournament. When the tournament was in New Orleans, Commissioner McClellan brought you on board, so you looked at different venues, different situations. There's the pitch, misses ball 4, and Moya with a walk with one out. It'll bring up Manny Soufrain. So the commissioner obviously mentioned the fact that the city of Atlanta reached out to the conference to bring the tournament here. Here we are. Just your thoughts on your involvement in just bringing the tournament to, kind of on the eastern side of the SWAC end.
Well, there was something, when he reached out, we had 2 venues. We had the one in Gwinnett, which is the Brave AAA park, and they were willing to work with us in bringing the SWAC to Gwinnett. But then the commissioner felt this was better because it's not as big a seating capacity. It would fit what we need. It's in the heart of the city, which has got more hotels, things to do for the fans who want to do stuff before and after the game. So this worked really good for what we were trying to do. And then we got a 3-year contract for Atlanta for us to help grow this thing. And I've spoken with the liaison from the city, and they want to do more and bigger things as we go forward. So because we talked about it.
So it is a 3. We'll be here for the next couple of years after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the commissioner have really worked hard, and he doesn't do it all by himself. He gets other people out there and get opinion. He wants to know stuff, and that's the way you make decisions.
Yeah.
He's not a know-it-all type guy. He and I get along really good together. We can talk about what's on our mind, and that's the best thing, to be honest with each other.
Chris Crenshaw coming out to settle his pitcher a little bit long. He's got a 3-0 lead. And a pitch strike called. A 1-out walk to Moya. And the one thing about Dr. McClellan, he's very accessible. He's in the stands. He's talking to different people, shaking a bunch of hands. The 2-1 inside, 3-1.
I tell you, Chris doesn't go to the mound very often, so he must have something good to tell Jalen about what he want him to do here. Obviously, don't walk people.
Here's the 3-1, a ground ball to base hit in the right field. Moya let the ball go by him and a single and a walk, and here come the Wildcats, 2 on and 1 out here in the 4th inning. Well, Charles Bishop being here in Atlanta, it's been great turnouts, I think, this weekend, with this being a holiday weekend. It used to be, Charles Bishop, that the softball and baseball tournaments were back-to-back weekends. I remember when the tournament was in Huntsville, one week the softball tournament was the previous week. Obviously, with other conference tournaments taking place this weekend and the regional start next week, conference wanted to kind of get along the same line there with the regional starting next week.
Yeah, I tell you, it has been Chamber of Commerce weather. You talk about peanuts, Cracker Jacks, and just great baseball. Yesterday, I tell you what, with the exciting games with Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, and then Florida A&M and Alabama State, it was just tremendous atmosphere. Loved every bit of it.
I think it'll be even better later on, especially with FAMU and Bama State, two rivals, and Grambling will take on the winner of this game.
And Charles, you forgot to add Chevrolet in there. By the way, it's a corporate sponsor. You can't. Baseball is big with Chevrolet.
1-1 the count. I think there's a Chevrolet parked outside the stadium.
I was thinking about asking them for the key to drive it around.
2-1 the count.
Silverado looks nice. Maybe I'll talk to the commissioner.
2-1 the count. Don't give me the keys here in Atlanta. I might get a ticket. Here's the 2-1. This is outside, 3-1. 3-1 the count, 1 out, 2 on here. Roger Cador, a chance for the Wildcats to make some noise.
Well, they look like they're about to make some noise. If Jalen is, you still have to throw strikes. This is a double play candidate right here.
Here's the 3-1. Ball 4, and they're loaded up. The bullpen is active for the Jaguars. 2 walks and a single, and the bases are loaded. This is the bottom of the lineup. Olasene at the plate. So the base is loaded. Holton Lawson, the senior. 308 as the number 8 hitter. The base is loaded for the Wildcats.
He certainly looks like a double play candidate.
Wow.
Left fielder is probably too deep on him.
This pitch misses outside. So for the Wildcats, they have 3 hits.
All he have to do is, Long has to make an adjustment. Everything is outside, off the plate. That means he's slinging it out there. See that? So maybe the catcher's got to set up inside to help him out. You can't just sit out outside if he's throwing everything away. So let's see if the catcher makes an adjustment. That's what I would say.
2-0 the count with the bases loaded.
See, he goes back out there with the glove. Yeah.
Well, the Wildcats trying to get on the board. The Jaguars are trying to get a double play. 2-1 the count, 1 out, bases loaded.
Don't go back out there. Yeah.
2-2.
See, it's all about understanding about adjustments to help the pitcher out. That's why good catchers are worth.
Here's the 2-2. Check swing. He went around. He says no.
Doesn't matter what he says.
Olasene says no. Home plate umpire Brandon Folks says yes.
Let's see what he says.
I tell you what, Coach Crenshaw screamed from the dugout, back off, reset, 3 straight strikes after that.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it.
Big out. Bases loaded now, 2 out.
Left fielder should come in some.
Pitch is a strike call. Jeremy Garcia, the number 9 hitter, the shortstop, singled his last time up.
I would bring my left fielder in.
There's the 0-1. This is outside, 1-1. This is a bases loaded situation with 1 out. Moya walked, a single, and another walk to Escobar. Lawson strikes out. Now the count is 1-1 with 2 out, bases loaded. 3-0 Jaguars. Just nicked the catcher, and the count is 1-2. Boy, you got to have ice in your veins, Roger Cador. You're a pitcher. Bases loaded, 1 out. Now bases loaded, 2 out. You're ahead in the count.
Well, you know, ice in the vein is something I call Chris. I tell him he's got ice in his vein.
There's a foul off to the right side.
You know, after the year he won, last year in Birmingham, he didn't win it, but he made some ice-drenching decision that only someone as cool as ice could do.
Here's the 1-2. Inning over. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Don't burn so much energy.
Lawson and Garcia, side is retired. Bethune-Cookman has stranded 6 through 4. 3-0 Jaguars as we go to the top of the 5th inning. We've got our mid-game interviews coming up. We'll get to it after this timeout. Elimination game. The winner will take on Grambling tonight. The losers eliminated. So far, the Jaguars with a 3-0 lead. Top of the 5th inning coming up on the SWAC Digital Network. Beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. First of a 3-year deal between the city of Atlanta and the Southwestern Athletic Conference for the baseball tournament. There's a base hit.
He should be making a turn.
And he does make the turn, stumbles a little bit, and gets back to first. So lead off by the leadoff hitter, Jalen Armstrong. That pleases head coach Chris Crenshaw's team has the lead. The leadoff man is on, and he's standing by with Charles Bishop.
Yeah, down here with Coach Crenshaw. Coach Cater wanted to know if you got ice running down your veins after that inning.
Yeah, that was a eventful inning right there. Luckily, we found a way to get out of it and keep the momentum on our side.
Jalen Long is giving you some great innings in the beginning part of this game. What have you seen from him thus far?
He had everything working to the first 4 innings right there. That's all you can ask for is him to go out there and compete and throw strikes.
Sure thing. Thank you, Coach.
Chris Crenshaw made the long saunter to the mound, settled him down, had a bases loaded, 1-out jam, got out of it, back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Hendricks at the plate. He has singled and doubled halfway to the cycle, and he was hit.
Now you got an issue. Do you bunt? Did you take the bat out of the home run leader?
Well, Roger Cador, I asked you that question 2 days ago, and you looked at me like I was crazy.
I'm going to make sure Neil swings.
But when you had a Levo for Texas Southern up, I asked the same question. You said, no way.
Well,
you said no way.
Well, it's no way here either.
Do you take the bat out of O'Neal Burgos' hands? He has an RBI ground out and a fly ball. First and second, nobody out. Southern has Bethune-Cookman on the ropes a little bit. And they're going to turn him loose. Fastball
no,
high.
He's not going to bunt him. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to bunt him.
1-0 the count.
Plus, that's smart because he's never asked him to bunt. And it's just like asking Aaron Judge to bunt. He's never bunted.
That is a good point. Pitch inside. The bullpen is quiet right now for the Wildcats. We talked about it. Both of these teams have arms available. Jonathan Hernandez told me he's got 7 arms available, and here he comes. I think this is a bullpen visit. Now we see the bullpen getting busy.
He's bringing him in, but the kid wasn't warming up, or maybe he's already loose.
Or maybe so. So we'll take a break right here. Maybe the bullpen was all ready to go. So we'll take a break here. The Jaguars have 2 on, none out. Elimination game for the Jaguars and the Wildcats. The losers eliminated. The winner will take on Grambling tonight. Right now, 3-0. Jaguars first and second, nobody out. Second, Wildcat pitcher will tell you about them after this on the SWAC Digital Network.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Back here in Atlanta, glad you can join us on the SWAC Digital Network. Pitching change for the Wildcats. Yoncel Diaz, the junior righty, on the mound for the Wildcats. As Bethune-Cookman trails 3-0 in the Jaguars. Second inning in a row, Roger Cador. The leadoff man has been on base.
Yeah.
Single and a Batter hit here, so 2 on and none out for the Jaguars with their second pitcher in the game, in Yoncel Diaz. The line right now on Gamboa, 4 innings pitched, 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. And facing O'Neal Burgos. Strategy the same?
Same thing.
You're not gonna let them square up here? Square up on a bunt.
Yeah, square the ball up, yeah.
Or square the ball, but not square up the bunt.
No, sir.
First and second. This pitch, strike called. Burgos fly to right. His ground ball to the right side. Drove home a run and made it 2-0. Wind picking up here, swirling left to right. Wind's going to pick up here over the next day or so. It'll be windy. And Burgos a mile high in the air on the infield fly rule. And it's going to be caught at second. Lawson hauls it in. That was a mile high in the air. Gustavo Nava Sanchez. His RBI single made it 1-0, and then he's fly to first.
It's amazing how many times Burgo and Hunter Tab have been in this situation, and this year they have been able to deliver. And it's because they're trying to do too much. The key is to get the bat head of the ball, the bat head out in front. See the ball, get the bat head in front. Don't overswing, because you're not good enough to do like the big leaguers where they could swing hard and still hit the ball. College kids do better when they swing the way you do in practice. You got me? So he just need a little mentoring support to make him understand that's what he needs to do.
0-1 the count to Nava Sanchez. Pitch, strike called from Diaz.
Diaz has come in and thrown the ball over the plate.
So with this pitcher, Diaz in the game, 7 arms, 7 pitchers are available. Well, 6 pitchers now are available. They had 7 pitchers available coming in. So they have 6 available pitchers that Coach Hernandez has at his disposal. Swing and a miss, foul tip. And down goes Nava Sanchez.
It's not good to let these people off the hook when you got that situation.
Well, Bethune-Cookman had the bases loaded, 1 out, and left stranded. The Jaguars had 2 on and nobody out. Now 2 on, 2 out for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe, a chopper to second in the hole. Inning is over. Wow, Jaguars had a chance to add to their lead, couldn't do it. Southern has stranded 5. The Wildcats have stranded 6. Batter hit, a single, 2 stranded, and we will take a break here. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. We'll hear from Wildcat head coach Jonathan Hernandez on the other side of this timeout on the SWAC Digital Network. Pitching change for the Jaguars. The lefty, Jerry Burkett II, in the game for Southern, taking the place of Long, who went 4 innings. What do you think about that, Roger Cato? At this point, elimination game. Now both starters are out. The Jaguars now have 7 available arms. They had 8 coming in, so they use 1 here. 7 available arms. What do you think about the pitching change?
Maybe this 8 he was talking about, including the starter. He didn't say it was including the starter?
No. Here's a fly ball, shallow left, and left fielder couldn't get there. Gets by him, backed up by center, and it's going to be a double.
I keep saying the left field is way too far back. I don't, these kids are not hard hitters.
There's a fly ball with the medium depth left. It had to come hard. Was Rolo, couldn't get there. Play backed up by Armstrong. So to bring up Garrett Shun, facing the lefty Burkett. 3-0. Jaguars with the lead.
He's even further back on this kid. And somebody's got to be in that dugout saying, come on, get him up some.
0-1 the count. Wind blowing right to left now. It's blowing mostly left to right. Curve, strike call, good pitch. Oh, 1-2 the count. Burkett.
There are so many coaches who say to players, don't let the ball get over your head. Don't let it hit it. Well, we've seen how many balls are really hit over players' head that they can't go back and get. They can. Normally those against the wall you can't catch. But no, the majority of the balls are hit in front of you.
We've had a few that have gone deep. This pitch is inside.
Well, if they go deep, if they hit in the left center, right center, center field is going to help you out.
Yeah, to back it up.
They can go catch it most of
They can go get it.
We've seen it in this game.
2-2 the count.
In this tournament, rather.
Foul tip. Catcher held it. 1 out. Nava Sanchez holds it 1 away. Well, Bethune-Cookman has had chances. They had the bases loaded, 1 out, couldn't score. Laid off double here by Torrero. He's still at second with 1 out. Highland Hall, 0 for 2, stands in. Southern has out-hit Bethune-Cookman 5-4, but 3-0 Southern. Just misses outside, ball 1.
This is a strange win according to the flag. It was blowing to left a minute ago. Now it looked like it's blowing in, right?
Yep, blowing in. Yep, a little bit from left to right.
That's amazing.
Swirling wind, pitches inside. In case you're just joining us, we started with 8 teams. 2 teams were eliminated yesterday. Prairie View lost 1-0 to FAMU. The Panthers have been eliminated. It'll be FAMU and Bama State coming up next. Here's a ground ball to first, runner to third. And the first baseman, Burgos, steps on the bag, moves Torrero to third. 2 out. That'll bring up Boris Pena, the left fielder. Well, Charles Bishop, this is kind of par for the course for the Wildcats and head coach Jonathan Hernandez. They were down yesterday, down here, but you don't see a sense of panic by this bunch.
Not at all. Down here with Coach Hernandez. Coach, down 3-0, and it looks as though, you guys have been here before, huh?
Yeah, I mean, again, the last 2 innings we've had opportunities that we haven't been able to capitalize on, so we have to do a better job offensively to work with situational hitting. Again, we're not capitalizing on our opportunities, but we still got a lot of ball game left.
Still a lot of ball game left. But what is it that you need to see from your team to try to scratch some runs across?
Just make adjustments at the plate. You know, the lefty came out here and the breaking ball is loopy. You know, we just got to stay on it, not try and pull that pitch, take it the other way. And whenever they give us pitches to hit, we can't miss them. So, again, you know, it's the last 2 innings. I think we've left four guys on, and we just have to do a better job offensively to, you know, to stay in this game.
No doubt. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, to his point, Charles Bishop, the last 4, they have left 4 runners on the last 2 innings, and they have left 7 runners on overall. So that's a big story in this game. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Southern University will have Evans, Tab, and Roland coming up 6, 7, and 8. Jaguars trying to eliminate the Wildcats. They're up 3-0. We'll be back after this on the SWAC Digital Network. Here in Atlanta, Georgia, comfortable. It's been some chilly evenings, chilly mornings, but very comfortable. Not bad at all throughout the whole Memorial Day weekend. Jonathan Evans at the plate, fouled out to third and sacrifice. We're underway here in the 6th inning. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Jaguars, and they have left 5. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Bethune-Cookman, but Roger Cador, the LOB column, left on base, 4 in the last 2 innings, 7 for the game.
That's not good. And that come back to haunt you, because now you're getting close to it. They start counting how many outs you have left. Southern that needs to get to win the game. Now, I knew that Cookman was not a great offensive production team, but still, you still got to get hit with 2 outs and runners on base.
There's a swing and a miss, a wild pitch, and a strikeout. 1 out. Gonna bring up Hunter Tab. Coming up next, Centoria Black, Roger Cador and crew will bring you Alabama State and FAMU. Roger Cador as they meet for the 8th time this season.
That's okay.
Could be the 9th time if FAMU beats Bama State. We'll have baseball tomorrow. They could be meeting for the 9th time. Anything you could share when you're facing a team that many times. As a coach, is a little check swing right back to the pitcher. Burkett throws him out.
Oh, Hunter. Tab, got to give your team better swings.
J.J. Roland at the plate. Let's give us a cue with this one, Roger Cador. Well, check swing.
Wide bill check swing on the first pitch or first strike, because he's gripping in there, trying to do more. You have to do what the mistake the pitcher make. You can't go create it if he won't let you create it. You got me?
There's a base hit slapped in the right field off the bat of Roland. His first base hit of the game. He's 1 for 3, single in the right field.
Just a nice, easy swing. Not too much. He didn't try to do too much with it. Here's another struggling senior.
Justin Wiley.
He's below the Mendoza line. And you know who Mario Mendoza was, huh? You heard of him?
I have.
He's below that line.
Below 200?
Yeah, he's below that, you know.
Here's the pitch, strike call in the outside corner.
You know, one of the funny things, he's one of the people being considered for the 50. And I had to come to his defense and said, you know, that the kid been hurt.
Yeah.
He's playing with 2 broken ribs. And the guy said, well, he's below the Mendoza line.
He's below 200.
Well, I had to bring up Joe Carter. You know, he forced me to bring up Joe Carter. Yeah.
Here's the pitch. High.
Coach, there's no better defense than the Joe Carter defense.
No, that's the greatest defense. And he smiled all the way. 219.
World Series winner.
Yeah. Touch him out, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger.
Here's the 2-1.
That's a hit.
And it's a base hit left center field.
There you go. The
Roll
ball
on
is
to
in front
third.
of him.
Here's the throw. Cut off. First and third.
He's hurt at first. I guess that's the only reason he didn't go to second. Let's see. So he's doing something with his legs. He's been hurt all year. It's amazing. That kid has been hurt. Let's see what happened here. Oh, there it is. That's why he couldn't go. He pulled up Lamb.
Well, I tell you what, James Crenshaw, producer, great job by the folks on the cameras, different angles, good replay shots. Yeah. Right into your living room.
It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, just trying to stretch it out. Just trying to keep it loose.
He's going to stay. He needs a warrior.
He's going to stay in there. It's Justin Wiley, Charles Bishop has helped his team and just want to stay in the game and continue to help him on the bases.
Well, I understand that part, but the question I would have is, are you helping if you're a little bit late?
Because you know what? The game of inches come into play,
yes,
Charles.
Sir, exactly.
You know, the game of inches come into play here.
You don't expect any attempt to steal second here, top of the lineup.
But force outs and other stuff come into play.
Well, there's 2 out in the inning. Pitch strike call.
Well, force out is still.
Yeah, force out at second.
Yeah.
Yeah, close play.
Close play, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, you're correct about that. Armstrong at the plate. He's 2 for 3. He's helped his team at the top of the lineup. A strike call in the outside corner. We got some moans and groans from the Jaguar Nation behind home plate.
Yeah, but you got to swing the bat. You got a man on third base.
0-2 to the leadoff Armstrong. Here's the pitch.
Look at this.
Call, third strike.
Didn't give his team a chance.
So the side is retired. Couple of hits, 2 stranded. The Jaguars have left 7. The Wildcats have left 7. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0. Bethune-Cookman rallied yesterday. They trail here. And when we come back, Robert Moya, Manny Sufrain, and Irvin Escobar coming up after this timeout on the SDN. Wildcats come up here. 6th inning. There's a pitch, swing and a miss. Robert Moya, the DH, walked and doubled. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Jaguars. They've left 7. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Wildcats, and they've left 7. Coach, for the most part, it's been a well-played game. No errors.
Right.
Pretty clean game.
Pretty clean.
1-1 the count. Strike call on the inside corner. Coming up next, it will be Alabama State and FAMU, 2 Eastern Division rivals. They'll meet for the 8th time. That's coming up next. Grambling will take on the winner of this game later. Centoria Black will have those 2. And again, if Bama State wins next, and if Grambling wins their game and they'll take on the winner of this game at 6, then there will be no baseball tomorrow. However, if FAMU wins and if Grambling loses, we'll have some baseball tomorrow. And there have been situations, Roger Cador, in which there's been no baseball on Saturday. I think that, to me, is the best feeling in the world. You won your bracket, you won the grind. Here's a check swing, and pitch misses. And now you got Saturday to come back, take your cuts, get in the cage, and get ready for one game, winner take all on Sunday. I think, to me, is the best feeling in the world when you're in that situation. Here's the pitch. This just misses.
It doesn't get any better than that. You know.
Were you in a situation where
the bracket was different when I was coaching?
How?
The last time I won it, let me put it that way.
Here's the 3-2. Leadoff is on. As for the Wildcats, Robert Moya on base for the 3rd time, 2 walks and a double.
I think we played for the championship in 16, I guess. 16, because 17 was my last year, so 16 we played for the championship.
I can recall in 2011 when Alcorn won their first baseball championship, and they didn't have any baseball on Saturday, as you all played the Braves that year, and you get to the ballpark on Saturday and just have a good workout.
I don't know if we played Saturday.
No, you all didn't.
We didn't play?
No.
Okay.
I
know
remember
we
that.
played them. You know.
That was when the tournament was in Shreveport.
Yep.
2-0 the count. Well, here, Roger Cador, you've got your relief in. Got the leadoff on.
Well, the walks, you know, the park is playing big. You're walking people.
There's a mile-high fly ball in the right, mile high in the air. And the wind blows it in a little bit, and the catch is made in right by Evans.
I'm convinced if you make these teams swing the bat, you win the game. If you force them to swing the bat, they can't beat you. If you make the park is playing too big for them.
Got Escobar at the plate, walked and grounded to short.
But that's a coach talking. Players see things different. The macho comes in. I ain't going to let you hit it.
Coach, let me ask in regards to the dimensions of the park. Is it pretty standard regarding SWAC parks around the league?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think. You know, it's been a while since I've been. Grambling Park is, except for left field, is pretty legitimate. Texas Southern has got this small park. The city they play in. Prairie View is legitimate. Arkansas is legitimate. Jackson is. And I can't remember. They hadn't played in the other ones. And I can't remember Alcorn. I know I played over there, but I just can't remember.
What about Heinz Field?
Oh, look, we had legitimate. We had 330, 325, 365, 375, and 398. So that was our dimension. So ours were really pretty much in line with this, except you got 350 there. We had 375, I think.
375 to right center at Heinz Field.
Right.
1-2 the count, 1 out, 1 on. Curve, good pitch, low and inside.
Now, that was time in Heinz Field in March. When the March wind was, the ball carried really good out there, you know?
Count
and
is
it
2-2.
was the left field that carried.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off.
But when I designed and put the field up, I wanted it to play fair for the pitchers and the hitters. So that was time of year the pitchers enjoyed a really good amount of success because of the weather, and there were time when the hitters did too.
2-2 the count. Just missed, full count. Burkett. Let's look at this, Coach. How close was this?
Not close at all.
Catcher freeze frame. Full count, 3-2. Foul off. Not a play.
And I'm looking at the swings. That's why strikes are important. None of those swings indicate that you have a fear of them doing a whole lot of damage. You know, you could stay in the bigger part of the park, which is center field to left and right center, where more center and left center.
3-2 the count with one out. Runner at first.
There you go. You see the swings.
Well, this is off the line. Well, the wind carrying. Oh, and it's dropped. It's dropped in right, 2 on. And it's thrown
Look
away.
at the left fielder was.
And it's a runner to third. It's going to be 2 errors. Second and third. And Moya shake it up. Routine fly ball, Roger Cador.
Let's see. Boy, he's been brutal out there. Let's see. He's got plenty room, plenty time. Just couldn't. He just didn't do it right. And then
the cutoff.
Bad throw, but the left fielder didn't back up. Left fielder should have been backing up. Third baseman should have been backing up.
You know, Coach, I don't know. I've seen about 3 plays where the right fielder has had some issues in various games where the wind is just swirling for whatever reason in that direction.
Yeah. They're looking at whether or not should have been an infield fly rule. Maybe that's what they're discussing. I thought about that when the ball was hit. If there was an infield fly rule, but they're not going to call that. They're not calling that.
Well, that was caught in the outfield. I'm trying to determine what.
Well, sometimes it's short right field or center. They do call infield fly rule, but that's not the call right now.
Oh, the run is going to be allowed to score. Let's see this play at third.
There was no play at third.
Well, the runner from third scores.
Because there was no play at third. It must have been something at second. We got to look at second base. That's where the action was. Let's see what happened at second. Let's see. Oh, well, he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
A run will come in.
But he walked. He walked.
So a run scores on this. And the Wildcats are on the board.
Sometimes you don't need to get a hit to score. You walk and then they'll botch something.
It's 3-1. And Lawson at the plate. Well, there was a discussion about that, Roger Cador, and the runner scored, and here comes Chris Crenshaw.
We should have someone who could tell what they can announce. The fans need to know what's going on.
Had been some type of interference.
But that's the only thing it could have been.
Yeah.
At second, because there was no other play nowhere else.
All right, so let's take a look at it here while Chris Crenshaw, first of all, was dropped in right. It's number 1. All right, so let's pick it up from here.
That was because there was contact. See, it was contact here, and that was inverted contact. The contact you couldn't help.
Could that be right there? Because the runner would have got to third on that, and could that play right there allowed the runner to score?
That's what they were trying to say, but
so from talking to Coach Hernandez, the ball rolled into a dead ball area because the runner was already on second. He was awarded 2 bases, so that's what happened on that play.
A dead ball area. Well, we had a situation that our left fielder didn't back up the throw.
So it's two bases on the dead ball, and that's because of this throw here.
Yes. Boy, this guy really. Okay.
Look where this throw is. Dead ball area.
Right
there.
Is. Well,
yeah. Right there by the tarp. That's
now
the dead
we
ball
finally
area.
got it. We finally got it.
I thought it was more with the collision at second, but
there was not much collision.
Yeah. So with that, a run is in, and it's 3-1.
And it's 1 out.
Yeah,
boy, this is really something.
Routine plays.
Should have been 1-2 out with a man on first base.
Wildcats can get right back in it. A runner at third. Two out. Jerry Burkett, big out there. Lawson. Jeremy Garcia. Garcia 1 for 2.
I'm still, even though that ball hit the tarp, it didn't get large. And you can't just kill it because it hit the tarp. Well, maybe they got that in the ground rule, that if it hits the tarp, it's dead. Normally, if it's large, you know what I'm saying, Charles?
Yeah. Well, they discussed it, and they gave him home, and that's the only run so far. There's a pitch strike call on the inside corner. Jeremy Garcia 1 for 2. Wildcats with a run on a hit. 3-1.
Oh!
On a pitch behind him. Did not hit him.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Charles.
That's 1-2 the count.
Excuse me.
Thought that ball was coming at you, Coach.
Yes, I did. Felt I was in there hitting.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball foul. Quick with the hands, fouled it off. So the Wildcats are on the board. Despite the fact they've stranded 7, they've had some opportunities. Got a run in here. Runner at third, just a 3-1 game. Bottom of the 6th inning.
I would try to beat this boy with my left hand, with my fastball. To me, his Burkett's best pitch is his fastball. So if you're going to get beat right here, get beat with your fastball outside.
Pokes this one in the shallow center, and it's going to drop for a base hit.
They're too deep.
The run is in. Garcia poked it in the left center, and it's a 3-2 game. 3-2. And Roger Cador, you have said this all week. Sometimes the outfielders are a little too deep.
With the small hitters,
Top of the lineup, Luis Torero stands in. So the Wildcats, 2 runs on 2 hits.
Plus, I know history. History said 90% of the balls are going to be hit in front of you.
Fastball just misses.
That's the way to get 90% of them. You got little guys who are pokers, and they just can't drive the ball over your head. And it goes back to what I said earlier in game 1. A scared man can't gamble, and the jealous man can't leave home. That is what when you're playing outfield, you can't be afraid of the ball hit over your head. You got me?
Coach, I got to get that on a T-shirt, man.
Charles doesn't want to hear it, but
no, he's correct in terms of you have to go for it. Here's a ground ball to third, and the throw tab is there, and the side is retired. But the Wildcats right back in it. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 stranded. The Wildcats have stranded runners in the last 5 innings. They've left 8, and we have played 6. Southern 3, Bethune-Cookman 2. Jaguars will have 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Jaleel Hendricks, O'Neal Burgos, and Gustavo Nava-Sanchez after this on the SWAC Digital Network. Welcome back to Atlanta. Low-scoring game. We had a 1-0 game in Game 1, Roger Cato, a 3-2 game. Are you surprised?
Not really. We've seen good pitching, and they've been – and it's, other than the 2 boo-boo in right – one boo-boo in right field, and the left fielder didn't back up the throw. You got me? It's been a relatively well-played game. Just not a lot of hitting.
In years past, and we got 2 more games left, but in years past, as you get deeper in the tournament, the runs go up.
Well, that's what I said, that today would be a lot of runs scored, and they're proving me wrong.
Yeah, 1-0. FAMU eliminated Prairie View, and now just a 3-2 game. Still some innings to go.
And it should have been 3-0, or, should have been, that's it.
Both of those runs, by the way, that the Wildcats scored are unofficially unearned runs. Here's the 3-1, ball 4. The leadoff is on.
A walk, though. 63% of the time.
Well, Hendricks has been on base 4 times. Single, double, was hit by a pitch and walked. All right, O'Neal Burgos at the plate. He is 0 for 3 with an RBI. His ground ball made it 2-0 Southern.
Just hadn't had a good swing.
Bullpen ball gets away.
And you need your people. You need your key people in the meat of your order to come through.
Yeah, this is the meat of the order for the Jaguars.
We're in the South. If we were in the East, it's the heart of the order.
Here's the pitch. Strike called.
Yeah, if we were down the Eastern Seaboard, down We're going to say the heart of the
I
order.
want to know what it is on the West Coast. 0-1 the count. Find that out for us. Here's the 0-1. Strike call, 0-2 from the home plate umpire, Brandon Folks. Coming up for the 8th time this season, Santoria Black will have Alabama State FAMU. Santoria Black, Coach Roger Cador, Charles Bishop, 8 times this season. And there could be a 9th. Here's a ground ball right out in front of the home plate. Catcher Fields and Escobar
This
rolls
is the
out
first
Burgos.
first baseman I've seen who feel everything behind the bag. And that any close run, a play where the runner could run, is going to come back to get him.
Gustavo Nava-Sanchez at the plate.
Now you understand why it's tough for Southern to score a run. O'Neal is not swinging the bat good. Your third baseman is not swinging the bat good. And those are your 2 people returning from last year.
Oh, and he was hit. Nava-Sanchez hit by a pitch. The second Jaguar to be hit. Hendricks was hit in the 5th.
That one hurt a little more than when Hendrick was hit.
Now here comes Jonathan Hernandez. He's already used 1 arm, 1 pitcher, so he's got 6 left. Will he make a change here?
He sort of like what this pitcher is doing. You know, I would think that he's probably don't want to take him out because he likes what he's doing.
Well, Charles Bishop, we know Jonathan Hernandez's philosophy: calm, cool, and collected.
Always calm, cool, and collected. There's no
It
such
is.
thing as adversity. And I tell you what, his guys, they're keeping their cool about themselves. They're just trying to make plays within themselves.
And it's a 3-2 game. And Southern's done a lot of good work, but the Wildcats got 2 unearned runs in the last half inning. They're right back in it. But the Jaguars here have 2 on and 1 out. Been a lot of runners stranded here, Roger Cador. As a coach, when you look at a box score and you see your team is stranded 13 runners on base, what can you do to improve that going forward?
I never looked at a box score until after the game, so I wouldn't have known that other than from knowing that we've left a lot of runners on.
Okay, so when you get the box score after the game, your team leaves 13 runners on base. What do you say that night or the next day? How do you practice that?
I'm going to say something during the game because during live time, real action, I'm saying something then. We're leaving too many runners on.
Here's a base hit in the left field.
Send him home.
Runner being held up.
I'm sorry. I wanted to see action at the plate.
Jaleel Hendricks held up. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. A walk, a batter hit, and a single. Jaguars have them loaded up with 1 out.
Well, this was you got to anticipate being a hit when you're on second sometime, you know. Now, this is a great opportunity for the right fielder, Evans, to make up for the misplay.
Yeah, you're sure right. Yeah, the misplay in right. He's the right fielder. There's the pitch, strike called. And Evans is 0 for 3 at the plate, a sacrifice. He fouled out to third, and a strikeout. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. Jaguars with a 3-2 lead. This pitch, strike call, 1-1. Yoncel Diaz in for the starter Marcos Gamboa, who went 4 innings. Pitch misses outside. Count is 1-2. Try to get him to chase. Big pitch right here in this game. Big at bat in this game. 3-2 Southern, but they have the bases loaded. 1 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss.
It's amazing.
And
Took
he's
2
out.
strikes and swung at the ball. So now Chris has got to make a decision on Evans. Do you send him back in that outfield, or you send someone else out there? It complicates things even more. Now you got Hunter up there.
Hunter Tab at the plate. Tab is 1 for 3, an infield single grounded to the pitcher and fly to second.
Yeah,
Tab, a base hit up the middle. Jaguars have a 4-2 lead. Here's the throw in, and it is too late. Runner to third, and that gets away. 2 runs in, and the Jaguars have a 5-2 lead. RBI single by Hunter Tab.
That's called picking up your teammate. That's what you got to do. This is why it's a great team game. You know, you get to pick up your teammate.
We'll talk about that at bat, Roger Cador, what he did right there.
Well, he didn't try to do too much. That was the key.
They had the runner at third, ball got away.
Yeah.
So the Jaguars get 2 big runs, and they lead 5-2. 10 hits for the Jaguars. J.J. Roll-on at the plate. Pitch strike called. Again, we talk about the bottom of the lineup. Tab 2 for 4. Roland and Wiley, 8-9 in the lineup, have been on base 4 times. The last 3 batters have been on base for the Jaguars. That's huge.
You can't take too many pitches with runners on base for strikes. You know, that's what Evans did. He took the first 2 strikes, then he was in the hole. So he was defensive at that point, and what did he do? Swing at something in the dirt. The greatest way to hit is to hit with the bases loaded. They got to throw a strike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, all you do is sit there and make him throw me a strike.
Count is 1-2. J.J. Roll-on. Jaguars, 2 runs, 2 hits.
He gonna spend something in the dirt here.
There's a ground ball to short. Shortstop comes across throwing and gets him. Side is retired as Garcia throws out Rollum, but the Jaguars 7 to the plate. 2 runs, 2 hits, and they strand 2. Well, the Jaguars have stranded 8 runners in the last 5 innings, 9 for the game, but they have a 5-2 lead. And we'll take a break here as we get to the bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch. 2, 3, and 4. Chun, Hall, Pena coming up after this on the SWAC Digital Network. Bottom of the 7th inning here in Atlanta. Glad you can join us. Charles Edmond, the Hall of Famer Roger Cador. Charles Bishop down on the field with interviews and perspective. And Charles Bishop, what we expected here. A couple of good games, elimination game, back and forth. But if you know Bethune-Cookman, they've got some gas left in the tank. They've been down in this spot before. Jaguars have a 3-run lead.
Yeah, I mean, these are two teams that are infamous, if you will, for late inning magic. So we should have some fireworks going down the stretch here.
I wouldn't say late inning magic, Taylor. I would say late inning dramatics.
Depending who is saying it. The dramatics was on Alabama's part. Here we go. We lead off walk again. You get runs. You can't walk people. You got to force them to swing the bat.
And I tell you, Coach Crenshaw came out immediately after that walk.
Well, he couldn't take it anymore. He's going to get him. I think he's going to get him because he ain't going to talk to him on this one.
Yep,
he's taking the ball.
Yeah, he hands him the baseball.
Yeah.
So we've got the third pitcher coming up for the Jaguars. They had 8 pitchers left. They've used now 2, so they've got 6 available. I mean, everybody's available, of course, because it's an elimination game. But pitchers, both coaches indicated these are pitchers that have not been used. So 6 pitchers left for the Jaguars. We'll take a break here. We'll give you the third Jaguar pitcher coming up after this. Timeout. You're looking at righty Drew Lacine, the 6'5", 245-pound junior from Greenwell Springs, Louisiana, LSU Eunice Community College transfer. As the Wildcats have the leadoff on, and the pitch is low. Drew Lacine, 5-2 with 2 saves with a 4.82 earned run average during the year. Here's a ground ball in the hole, pulled, base hit, left field, 2 on for the Wildcats. So 2 on Roger Cador, and just when Southern got a couple, the Jaguars are knocking on the door here for the cleanup. Boris Pena, who's 0 for 4. He's fly to center, right, and second.
Yeah. If he's not bunting, he's a double play candidate.
Now, if you are Coach Jonathan Hernandez, it's the bottom of the 7th inning. You're down 3 runs. Sack here. Clean up. He's cleanup hitter. Do you sack here? You're down 3 runs. You move them along. A base hit could score a couple and make it a 1-run game.
Well, it's up to him. I don't know enough about his team, but that guy is a bunt candidate for me because he's not that good offensively.
Boris Pena, during the season, .298 with 4 home runs. He represents the tying run. Will he be swinging or will he be bunting?
I thought he was the catcher, but
he's bunts. A pitcher can't get there. It's going to be bases loaded, folks. A bunt single. And Singh could not get there. As we take a look at it here, Roger Cador.
It was the angle he took. He came in and the ball got bunted by him. So let's see. Once he committed, he should have been going toward the line first, and that would have helped him.
Everybody is safe. Chun at third, Hall at second, Pena at first. It'll bring up Robert Moya, who's walked twice and doubled. Moya base hit the other way, and here come the Wildcats. 1-run scores, and it's 5-3. Nobody out in the inning. Three singles and a walk, and it's 5-3 Southern University. Manny Soufrain at the plate. He's 1 for 3. This is the number 6 hitter in the lineup for the Wildcats. They've got a run on 3 hits in this inning. The leadoff walk, Roger Cador, that set this up. And the Wildcats have a run, and it's 5-3.
Coach, outfield depth-wise, how are they looking out there?
Left field is still too deep for me because anything out there is going to fly. Remember, when you have a left-hand hitter hitting, he's not going to be able to drive the ball over his head in left field.
Wind blowing in. This pitch is inside. A good play behind the plate by Nava Sanchez. He probably saved a run. Count is 2-1. Bases loaded, nobody out. A run in for the Wildcats. 5-3 Southern. This misses. 3-1. Bullpen is quiet for the Jaguars.
If he had 6 arms on there, why somebody loosening up?
Well, now someone is standing up in the bullpen. Here's a high chopper, base hit right field. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game. RBI by Soufrain scores 2, and we have a 5-all game. Still nobody out for the Wildcats, first and third. Charles Bishop, you talk about a cat with 9 lives. How many lives does a Wildcat have?
It has to have 10. I tell you what, we've seen this from this team all throughout this tournament. We saw it multiple times against Jackson State, and now we're seeing it against Southern.
And it's been because the walk and the pitcher not taking the right angle to field the bunt. Those kind of things, makes it difficult.
The Wildcats have rallied with 3.
And they're not finished yet.
Yeah, this is the 6th batter in the inning, and the previous 5 have gotten on base. A leadoff walk to Chun, a single by Hall, a bunt single by Pena. That set it up. RBI single by Moya made it 5-3, and Soufrain's RBI scores 2 to tie it at 5.
And my thing is why Chris doesn't have anyone warming up.
Here's a shot in the left that drops in for a base hit. Bethune-Cookman with the lead. RBI by Escobar.
Because this pitcher is not going to be able to get him out.
6 straight to reach base.
But give Bethune-Cookman some credit. They're not over swinging against a guy. They finally find a pitcher who came into the game they didn't have to overswing against and get the bat on the ball and put it in play.
Well, the bullpen, there's a couple of players standing out there. Now a pitcher is heading towards the bullpen. Look like the freshman Renard Grace heading to the bullpen now. Thought I saw someone standing in the far corner. I don't know if that was a pitcher, but nonetheless, this is a visit to get the bullpen busy.
Well, you got to be careful when coaches tell you they got 7 or 8 pitchers. I know that that's not that many pitchers exist. They meant bodies. I got 7 bodies, but because if he had someone he truly believed in, he would have had him warming up to try and stop the bleeding. You got me? Because why save him? If you lose, where you go?
Yeah. Olasine at the plate. He struck out 3 times. He's bunting. 4 in for the Wildcats. 4 runs, 5 hits, nobody out. There's a bunt. Catcher fields, throws. Bang, bang play there, and the first out of the inning, but moves the runners along. The sacrifice is good. How's a bang, bang? That's a close play at first, Roger Cador.
Yeah, but, they're going to be close. The catcher took his time.
Yeah. By half a step.
Yeah. Can't I run the ball? Not even Cool Papa Bell could do it.
Well, Jeremy Garcia, the shortstop, he's 2 for 3. Bethune-Cookman with a 6-5 lead. There's a little flare in the shallow left. This ball's gonna drop for a base hit. And the Wildcats add to their lead, a Sing-I single, and it's 7-5.
And Coach, that time the infield was playing in.
So that's they couldn't do nothing with that one.
Yep, they were in for a play at the plate. And he just found a spot, found a hole. 7-5. 5 runs in by the Wildcats. Top of the lineup.
I'm sure some of the former players are just yelling and screaming. But there ain't much you can do. They hadn't.
Here's a bunt. Pitcher, they try to squeeze home a run in the tag, and he's out at home.
So you got 2 outs.
Escobar out at home, but it makes it first and second.
And you're still in the game. There's 2 runs down, right?
Yep.
You still got a chance. You got to hold them here. Now this is the time to bring that left fielder in. You got a small left-handed hitter up. Bring him in some.
5 spot by the Wildcats, first and second, 2 out. Strike called.
Because these guys have found the pitcher they've been looking for. Number 30, they brought him in. He's the guy they've been looking for. They don't have to swing hard. Just put the bat on the ball. He's not throwing hard. Look at that. That's what they've been looking for.
Good play by Tab. The inning is over. Maybe that'll get the Jaguars pumped up. A good defensive play. That would have scored at least 1, maybe 2. But the side is retired. The first 6 reach base for the Wildcats. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 2 stranded. The Wildcats have stranded 10.
A lot of runners.
So we'll take a break here. We'll be right back as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Back after this on the SWAC Digital Network.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are a limitless future, opening new doors, new ways, new everything. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. Chevrolet, honored to support the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Seesaw game, just the opposite. Roger Cato, I bragged about the low-scoring game. and the announcer's jinx continues. I bragged about how low scoring of a game we've got, and all of a sudden you've got a 5-run inning, and it's 7-5. Looks like if it's gonna, whatever the final's gonna be, a high scoring one here. As the Jaguars come up now, Roger Cador, what are you telling the team at this point? Or is there anything you can say? You're up, and now you're down here as we get down to the last 2 innings.
You're only down 2 runs, so the way this tournament is going, that's not a lot. You got to swing at strikes, though.
Justin Wiley at the plate, fouled it straight back. The loser of this game is eliminated. Brian Perez is the new third baseman for the Wildcats. Pitch called, third strike.
The kid swung at 2 high pitches and took one there, and he said, okay. It doesn't add up.
1 out, Jalen Armstrong, 2 for 4. First at bat struck out, last at bat struck out, and in between 2 singles, 2 for 4. And a base hit, taking it the other way, he's 3 for 5.
You know what's so interesting? When he had runners on base, he didn't even swing the bat. He took 3 strikes. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying, Charles? I'm not being too critical, but he had runners on bases, just swing the bat. Wouldn't do it. Now you swing the bat, nobody's on.
Well, Jalee Hendricks with 1 swing of the bat can tie this game. He's been on base 4 times. Doubled, singled, walked, and was hit by a pitch. Makes a strike called.
He's done a good job today.
1-1 the count. And this off-speed drops in.
He's going to have to think the other way, because in order for this pitcher to be effective, he's got to pitch off the plate. So he's going to be sidewinding to go outside.
This pitch misses 1-2. One and two the count. Dale Michaud, the right-hander in the game. This pitch misses outside. Boy, these close games, fans and everybody hanging on every pitch.
Not today.
Every pitch.
They got a couple of them. Most of them are laid back.
There's the pitch, misses outside. Tying run at the plate. I believe it's a full count.
Yeah, full count here.
Yes.
There's nervous energy in the stadium.
Oh, absolutely. Full count, 3-2. Runner going. There's a fly ball down the right side, and this ball gets all the way to the wall. Extra bases. And the Jaguars are within 1 and a triple for Hendricks.
That's why it's not over.
A 1-out triple for Hendricks. He's been on base 5 times. Single, double, triple, walked and was hit by a pitch. If there's such a thing as an unconventional cycle, there it is.
Yeah. Now the key is, can you get Bogart to just take a good swing? That's all you want as your third hole hitter. Can you give us a good swing?
The only thing he's missing is a home run. I mean, he's doubled, singled, he was hit by a pitch, he walked and tripled. A home run will complete the cycle, but hey, to me, I think that's the cycle. Anyway, time called here as Jonathan Hernandez will come out. Bullpen busy, as you might expect, for the Wildcats. 7-6, back and forth we go.
I don't know why he took the pitcher out. He was doing really good.
And with 1 out, it looks like he's going to keep his pitcher in at the moment. Very calm conversation, Charles Bishop. It stays with the theme, calm, cool, and collected. That's Jonathan Hernandez.
That is Jonathan Hernandez to a T, calm, cool, and collected. I was going to ask, Coach, In terms of taking out the other pitcher, do you think he might have overthought that a little bit, or what do you think?
Sometimes we overdo it because he was doing really good. I felt I would see him again, but I know what the coach probably was thinking. He brought a pitcher in who throws from a different angle. Now they get to see a different
look.
So that's part of the thing coaches go through.
O'Neal Burgos, Roger Cador, he's 0 for 4 with an RBI, and his pitch is inside.
Without having a good swing yet. Let's see if he can give his team a good swing.
Runner at third, the tying run, 7-6 Wildcats. And working them inside. And the count is 2-0. Man, it's been back and forth. Jaguars led 3-0, then they trailed, and here they come.
Not a good swing.
And a foul off to the right. Coming up next, it will be FAMU and Alabama State for the 8th time this season. And later, Grambling will take on the winner of this game. 2-0 the count, 1 out. Foul straight back. Roger Cador, you've been in this position as the coach of Southern University. You got that later game. You control your bracket, and you're watching teams just go at it. You don't play until at least scheduled 6 o'clock. Could be later. I'm sure you're probably internally smiling when he's hit by a pitch here, because it's later in the evening, and that gives your team a little bit more rest. Is that a good thing, or does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. You got to play, Charles. You really have to play. And if you don't go out and play and execute, hit the ball, feel the ball. What is going on? This is amazing.
And
this is just amazing.
Burgos.
This is so young people, I tell you.
And the first baseman kind of have a couple of words. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so he was hit.
He's looking at the pitcher. So he looked at the pitcher, didn't say a word. Let him go. Keep rolling it. Keep rolling it.
Now the crew.
Let's see what happens. Didn't say. Yeah.
Well, obviously staring down his pitcher, and the Wildcat first baseman, Soufrain, had some words.
Oh my goodness. You know what? If they were good players, you wouldn't be seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Good players don't do that.
Jonathan.
Because they're thinking about their team. Let me not jeopardize my team here.
Both teams are getting a warning here.
Yeah, why would the guy jeopardize his team?
And you can see Jonathan Hernandez telling his first baseman, Soufrain, just
be quiet.
Calm down.
Calm down, yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Charles Bishop, the announcer's jinx is alive and well. We talked about calm, cool, and collected, right?
Yeah.
We did. Maybe the Halloween theme was for you, Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, your season's on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're playing over 50 games. You see this team. It's been back and forth. It's been intense. It's been emotional, high energy. You understand.
To be honest with you, Sanchez is a better situation for Southern than O'Neal was, because O'Neal has been pressing and missing pitches. This young man has a chance to square something up.
Gustavo Navas Sanchez, single, fly to first, struck out and was hit. 7-6. Jaguars trail here in the top of the 8th inning. Losers eliminated. The winner will take on Grambling tonight. This misses outside, ball 1.
Coach, how do you set your infield on this one?
They have it about right. You got a slow runner, so you're trying to do 2.
It's a check swing. You went around.
So you got your second baseman doing But, you know, I probably would pull the second baseman just a little more because this kid is not throwing hard. And Sanchez is trying to pull.
And he did pull it. Shallow right. Oh, it's going to be caught in second. Man, that's a tough play. In the sun field. And the catch is made for the first out.
Sanchez is asking
Olason with the catch.
Ratcliffe to pick him up. And that's a good teammate. Pick me up here. You know. Pick me up. Pick me up.
So 1 out for Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe singled, walked, fouled out, and grounded to second. Tying run is at first. Go ahead, run. Is that first? Tying run is at third. First
Guys
to third.
take too many strikes with runners on base. Guys trying to get ahead. Now the wind is really blowing. Look at here.
Yeah, blowing left to right. This has popped up. We might have. The wind holds it up, and it's the side retired. Well, the Jaguars get one, but they strand two. They have stranded 10 runners in the last 6 innings, 11 for the game. Bethune-Cookman, on the other hand, they've stranded 10, and they're coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning. 21 runners stranded in this game. And we've got a 1-run game, 7-6. Bethune-Cookman with the lead, and when we come back, we'll have 3, 4, and 5. Hall, Pena, and Moya coming up on the SDN.
And the center fielder moved from center to right.
So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bethune-Cookman trying to add to their lead. The Jaguars trying to keep the Wildcats right where they are. Bottom of the 8th inning. Here's a foul off to the left. We're underway. Bottom of the 8th inning. The loser of this game is eliminated. The winner will come back tonight and play Grambling. FAMU just arrived in the ballpark. I wonder what that feeling is like. You know, you got a double. It's not a traditional doubleheader where you're playing back-to-back. You leave the ballpark, you reset. I wonder what is that like, Roger Cador, when you
FAMU just came back, you said?
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. They're here in the ballpark.
Oh.
And just that downtime, what's that's like, the nerves and all. Here's a base hit left center field. Off the bat of Hall will lead it off for the Wildcats.
The feeling is, hey, we got to take care of business. I mean, I really don't remember a lot about what the feelings were. You know, all I knew is that we knew we had to win when we got in that situation. And
time called here. We're going to get a pinch runner for Hall.
Where's the runner? They're not doing that. They're just giving him some information.
Well, the first base coach going into the dugout.
No, Talk to the coach.
Okay,
Coach, what do you think the play is here?
It got to be bunting. That's the only thing. You got to try and get some more runs. I mean, that's what – I mean, it's no rocket scientist right here. You're either bunting or you're hitting and run. So I think the more you talk to people, you put too much on them. You can only – players can only carry so much a load. Nah, he's looking back. Why would they give a sign again when they've already given it? If you talk to them, you got me? Once I talk to him, why I'm not giving a sign.
Pena at the plate.
Hit and run. That's what I figured.
Pitch is low, and the runner to second.
Okay.
Got away from.
I figured it was something. It had to be something moving.
Ava Sanchez carried him to his left. So
now he's bunting. Now he's bunting.
Obvious sacrifice situation.
No.
And another wild pitch.
Don't need to bunt.
Runner to third.
Boy, what a brilliant call by the third base coach. Say don't bunt, they're gonna throw wild pitches.
So again, nobody out in the inning. Bullpen busy for the Jaguars. Lacine on the mound for Southern. 8-7. Wildcats with the lead. Runner at third. Swing and a miss. Robert Moya, the DH on deck. Walked twice, doubled. His RBI. Ground ball. Pitch misses outside. Count is 3-1. Lefty throwing in the bullpen for the Jaguars. Here's the 3-1. Ground ball foul. Full count. Coming up next, FAMU and Bama State for the 8th time. The Eastern Division rivals. Bama State wins, they go to the championship round. If FAMU wins, we'll be back here tomorrow for the 9th time between those two teams. The pitch.
Watch out!
Inches off the rail in front of Southern's dugout down the first base line. Winner of this game will take on Grambling later tonight. Full count. There's a base hit slapped into left field, and the Wildcats lead 8-6.
That's a good piece of hit, and remember, they're not over swinging, Charles. They're just taking the bat, taking nice, easy batting practice swings against this guy because he's not throwing hard, so they're just batting practice swinging.
Robert Moya at the plate. He's been on base 4 times. A single, a double, has walked twice.
I'm surprised that Chris had not gone to the bullpen. I mean, why would you not? You might be able to stop him. This kid don't have no chance of stopping him. So, you know.
1-0 the count. Well, just when the Jaguars claw back in it, Bethune-Cookman with a run. And the count is 2-0.
Yeah, I would definitely go to the bullpen.
Two players throwing in the bullpen for the Jaguars. This is high, 3-0.
It doesn't add up if he said he had 6 or 7 arms. Or PP could pitch, right?
Well, that's what he mentioned. I was just wondering, just as matter of factly, how many arms does he have that he can, I mean, everyone's available, of course, but in terms of arms you may have not used.
Seemed like he used this guy before.
Here's a shot in the left. And it's going to be caught in left by Roland.
Okay, now he's going to the bullpen.
Well, he got the out.
He got a left-hander coming in.
Manny Soufrain at the plate. Well, Charles Bishop, this may be the pitching change of the game right here, considering, I mean, it's a 2-run deficit. And Chris Crenshaw wants to bring in the lefty to try to keep the Wildcats right where they are.
Yeah, this is big. This is big in terms of applying the tourniquet right here and to keep the both Bethune-Cookman Wildcats from getting another run. I go back to that stop by Hunter Tabb the previous inning, how big that could be if Southern is able to come up and get a couple of runs here and push this game into extra innings or even get the win. So this is going to be huge in terms of applying the tourniquet to stop the bleeding here for the Jaguars.
We'll take a break here. We'll give you the next Jaguar pitcher when we come back here on the SWAC Digital Network. The lefty, Renard Grace, the redshirt freshman from Jackson, Madison Central High School. He's got a brother, Rashard Grace, on the club. Lefty facing lefty, throw to first. Runner is back. Charles Bishop, important part of the game right here.
A huge part of the game right here. See if the lefty can get this lefty on lefty stop.
One out, runner at first. Pitch is low
I don't
inside.
think you see, they need to tell me, you can't look at the runner and throw home. You got to pick up the target. See, you got to pick up your target. Don't look at the runner to throw home. There you
Throw to first, and the runner is back. Soufrain, 2 for 4. His RBI single tied it at 5. Single in the 4th, struck out, fly to right. Pitch to Soufrain. Last ball just misses. 2-0 the count. Again, the winner of this game will play Grambling tonight. Up next, Alabama State FAMU. Winner of that game goes to the championship. Here's a base hit. Oh, yes, off of short. I thought it was a base hit.
It's a base hit.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid shot, but the shortstop, Wiley, off his glove. If Alabama State wins, they go to the championship. If FAMU wins, we'll be back here tomorrow. Now 2 on. For Escobar. Soufrain 3 for 5. Escobar's been on base 3 times. Two for 3 with a walk. Spit strike called. (8-6). Bethune-Cookman with the lead. Pitch is low. Count is 1-1. Pitch coming up from Grace. Shot down the right side. This is trouble. It's going to be a base hit. Gets by him all the way to the wall. Run one scores. And the Wildcats add to their lead. Double by Escobar. He's been on base for the 4th time.
Good piece of hitting.
RBI double makes it 9-6.
Hit him where they ain't. Wee Wheelie Keeler.
And I'll bring up Colton Lawson. He has struck out 3 times and sacrificed.
Boy, they've made their hits work count today. Well, they've got 16 though.
Yeah, 16 hits. They've out-hit the Jaguars 16-12. They're in for the play at the plate. Strike called. 9-6. Bethune-Cookman with the lead. Losers eliminated. The winner will play Grambling tonight. This pitch is low. Seven runs for the Wildcats over the last 2 innings.
Yeah, that bullpen has really let Chris down today. They haven't done their job.
Here's the 1-1.
Of course, you had some issues in the outfield that also hurt. You know, just like last night. You know what I'm saying? They had 2 boo-boo out there, and they caused a lot of runs, and you couldn't overcome them.
2-1. Fly ball in the right. We could have a play at the plate here. Caught in right. Runner tags, and he is safe at home. And a run is in.
The catcher went too far to get the ball. You see the ball will travel faster.
Let's take a look at it here.
Okay, let's see. See, watch out for. See, if you stay back, the ball gonna travel faster. Then you can go back and tag. You got me? See, you can't tag him. See, if he's back, come on back. Yeah, just.
Yeah, definitely safe.
Yeah, he's safe. But he had a chance had he been closer to home plate. But, you know, it's easier saying up here than down there, you know?
10-6.
But we had a team came back from 5 down, right? Yesterday?
Yep. Anything can happen, a swing and a miss. 2 out. If you look ahead to the Jaguars, top of the 9th inning, Radcliffe, Evans, and Tabb coming up. Southern needs some base.
Radcliffe made the last out.
It'll be Evans, Tabb, and Rolon.
Evans is out. So there'll be a Radcliffe hitting. The younger Radcliffe will hit for him, I presume.
Yes.
Because Evans is out of the game.
The Jaguars right now are down 4 runs.
Charles, 10 runs literally in the last 3 innings.
Yep.
It's a lot of runs.
There's a fly ball down the left side. It's out of play. I blame myself for that, Charles Bishop. I was just bragging about these low-scoring games. And
well,
then,
we're going to get you off with this one. You know, we're not going to let you come back.
Coach Cater might jump you there.
I was bragging, man. 2 low-scoring games.
Yeah.
I am really bad on the announcer's jinx.
We're not going to let you come back for the ones tonight.
I've called many a no-hitters, and it gets broken up real quick. As soon as a no-hitter comes out of my mouth, it's over.
Oh, Charles,
yeah,
don't
absolutely.
say that.
I talk about the rain.
Oh, Charles.
Talk about the weather. It's been
Stop
previous SWAC tournaments.
You've been trying to talk about it today, too.
And the skies open up. Here's a 2-hopper to short, and the inning is over. 3 in for the Wildcats. As Charles Bishop alluded to, 10 runs over the last 3 innings. The Jaguars are down to their final 3 outs. They need 4 to tie, 5 to grab the lead, and they're down 10-6 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. We'll get to it in 1 minute here on the SWAC Digital Network. Top of the 9th inning. Jaguars need 4 to tie, 5 to grab the lead. They're down 10-6. And the first pitch misses outside, ball 1. We've seen this script before. We've seen this movie before, Roger Cato. A team down 4 runs, they rally. We saw it 24 hours ago.
I've seen it maybe more than you have.
You've seen it a bunch, 2-0 the count.
Of course, how many years have you been doing baseball?
A few years.
Okay. You refuse to elaborate. Okay. It's not going to appear on the web anyway.
This pitch strike call, 2-1.
You know.
2-1 the count. Here in the top of the 9th inning. It's fouled straight back at the plate, Jacoby Ratcliffe. Well, Roger Cato, we talk about bullpen. 10 runs over the last 3 innings. Tough for Southern. But for Bethune-Cookman, they found a way.
Yeah, well, and I was concerned when Chris Barquette was his best out.
There's the pitch called, 3rd strike, 1 out.
Was his best out, and I guess when he walked the guy, Chris had enough, but it might have been better off staying with him. You know what I'm saying?
From a coaching perspective, Roger Cato, how much did that fly ball that was dropped change the complexion of this game?
It changed it a lot. They might have had him shut out. You don't know how, from a psychological standpoint, having team with no run, and you keep not mowing them down. Because Cookman wasn't fighting prior to that. You got me? They were not putting up the kind of fight. So when all those things started to happen in their way, they started to fight a little more. They had their spirit broken.
If the Jaguars do not win this game, of the teams left, there will only be 1 team left from the West. There's a throw over from short, 2 away. Garcia throws out Radcliffe, 2 away. Right now, you got FAMU, Bama State left in one bracket. At least an Eastern Division team will represent the East in the championship. You've got Grambling and Bethune-Cookman, perhaps, unless the Jaguars a major 2-out rally. And the first pitch, a strike called. Jaguars, the number 3 seed in the West. There's a ground ball, Bay's head. Oh, it's J.J. Roll on base.
That's his second hit.
Second hit. He singled both to right. So the Jaguars not done. And we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Looks like Raphael Douglas, the sophomore, will pinch hit. So you got the number 1 seed in the East, the number 2 seed in the East on the verge of winning. Number 3 seed in the East still alive. Douglas at the plate. Pitch, this is outside, ball 1. In the West, Southern right now, and of course Grambling. The winner of this game will take on Grambling tonight. Here's the 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. Well, the Jaguars are running the first, running the third, running the fourth. They led 3-0, but then Bethune-Cookman with 10 runs in the last 3 innings. And now the Jaguars are down to their final pitch.
Well, if Southern loses, they can put it all to the fact that they just didn't hit. The people that they needed to hit didn't hit. And
here's the 1-2, just missed, 2-2.
And that does happen when you keep people don't hit, but somebody got to pick them up if you're going to be successful. It's amazing. This kid hadn't hit all year.
Here's the 2-2. That's just missed. Full count. Full count, 3-2, 2 out. 3-2 pitch. 2 on.
Kid hadn't hit all year, and he was disciplined enough to take a walk. That's really says a lot of confidence that Chris had in that young man. Now they got someone running for him, number 3.
Top of the lineup, Jalen Armstrong at the plate,
Number
and Caleb
3.
Tart will pinch run.
You need to get another runner on, and then you got someone to just 4 runs. You could tie it up.
Yeah, the potential tying run is in the on-deck circle for the Jaguars.
All you got to do is keep talking about it, Charles. Something will happen. Just keep talking. Go ahead.
So a pinch runner here.
How close the game is not.
Yeah, the game is it's still hanging in the balance. You haven't gotten the 27 outs. You
That's right.
You got 26 outs.
Yeah.
So 2 on, 2 out for the Jaguars. Potential tying run in the on-deck circle. Pitch to Armstrong, foul this straight back. Armstrong 3 for 5. Bethune-Cookman has out-hit Southern 16-13.
All those hits.
But it's 10-6. This pitch misses outside.
Runs still ruled this game, not hits, right?
Yeah.
Outs and runs are the 2 most important things if you're going to be a good baseball player.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled off. Jalen Armstrong, the senior, hit .324 during the year with 5 home runs. Count is 1-2. 1-2 pitch. High fly ball in the left. Medium depth. And the Wildcats have eliminated the Jaguars, scoring 10 runs in the last 3 innings as Bethune-Cookman's Boris Pena hauls it in. And our final 4 is set. Coming up next, Bama State and FAMU, and later tonight, Bethune-Cookman and Grambling. Roger Cador, 10 runs the last 3 innings. Southern got a run here and there. They led 3-0, but Bethune-Cookman offensively turned it on in the last 3.
Yes, they did. And, again, it's pitching. It came down to pitching, and Southern left so many runners on base. Pitching and hitting in this situation, let Chris down. They didn't do the job for him.
And the Wildcats move on, and Charles Bishop talking with head coach Jonathan Hernandez.
Coach, when we spoke in the fifth inning, you guys were down 3-0, and you talked about keeping your cool, quality at bats. You scored 10 over the last 3 innings.
And credit to the guys, they just got to stay calm, cool, collected. There's no panic in that dugout, coming from me or any of the coaches or the players. And you know that these games are won in championship innings, 6th through the 9th inning. And, we gave up a couple of runs early, but the guys stuck with it, and they finally made the adjustments necessary. And our situational hitting was really good the last 3 or 4 innings, which is what we were struggling with in the first half of the game.
I'm sure you don't want to do it this way, but late inning magic against Jackson State, late inning magic against Southern. Going forward, what do you need to do?
We just got to stay true to who we are. It's at the end of the day, like we can't worry about who we're playing. We just got to control what we can, and that's the hustle and attitude, right? And you have positive energy in the dugout. That's all going to filter through. You know what? And the baseball gods will reward you if you do things the right way. So as long as you stick with it, you do what you need to do. We put our players in the best position possible to succeed, and those guys are coming up clutch for us. So talk about the resiliency of that group that we have, and there's just some tough dudes that are ready to get after it now at 6 o'clock in the championship round versus a very good Grambling baseball program.
Sure thing. Thank you, Coach.
All right, good stuff, Charles Bishop. Roger Cador, Bethune-Cookman rallied, but the Jaguars, with those 2 runners stranded, they strand 13 in this game.
Hard to, if you get half of those, 6 more runs. It's just amazing what happened today. But that's baseball, and this is what happened when you don't execute. And you got to give a big shout out to Cookman for getting the job done.
Well, they have another job to do tonight, and FAMU and Bama State have a job to do coming up next. They will meet for the 8th time. Coming up next, Centoria Black will have the call. Roger Cador, Charles Bishop. I'm Charles Edmond. Glad to be with you. Stick around. Bama State, FAMU coming up next as we're down to the Final Four here on the SWAC Digital Network.